Liberal Catholicism, at least in terms of the priesthood, is spiritually barren. In fact, dead. It simply has not reproduced. Why? Because you can't just blame the bishops. It isn't as if the bishops are the radical conservatives. Rather, they're ordaining men who in many cases are more conservative and more traditional than they are. So what's driving this? And more specifically, what's driving the failure of liberal Catholicism to produce priests? I would suggest two things. Number one, if you accept liberal Catholic theses, like Gary Willis's claim that the priesthood is not of apostolic or Christ's origins, but is rather an innovation in addition to Christianity, why become a priest? If you don't believe in the priesthood, don't be a priest. But even more broadly, we could say, if your view of the priesthood is essentially that he's a community organizer and a social justice activist, you don't need to go to seminary for years to do that. You don't need to get ordained. You don't need to be accountable to a bishop or a religious superior, and you certainly don't need to be celibate. Second, what I've been calling this rightward shift has been both in theology, but also in politics. So what is that going to mean for the future of the church in America? What are you going to hear from the USCCB and from the pulpit on topics like abortion, on immigration, on just war? I'm struck by this question. What will we have gained, and what, if anything, will we have lost? I'm actually very interested in your thoughts on that. I'd love to hear how you foresee.
I want to give you my
playing
thoughts,
out.
Joe. My thoughts are that, yes, there are. So you do have, because we read articles like this all the time. Like the men that are joining seminary are pretty conservative. They're not trads.
Right.
They're not trads. They're They're like JP2 kind of guys.
They're not even conservative they're orthodox.
Orthodox
right?
in their faith, right? So they believe the Catholic faith. But the problem is that because you have
No, we're probably going to blackpill with this too. Just give us a minute.
Because you have the power at the top, only elevating the devious ones to the points of power. It becomes this, like, they only elevate the guys who are nefarious. And that's kind of the place we're at right now. So even if you have these conservative now the other thing is the liberals who do join the priesthood, like guys like James Martin, they join to commit revolution.
Yeah.
They don't join because
one could call it infiltration.
Yeah, like they're joining to infiltrate and be elevated. And look, you go back to the abuse crisis, and not even for like the child abuse, like you go back to McCarrick, what he was doing, bringing the seminarians out to his beach house, feeling them out to see which ones he could have his way with. Now, the ones he could have his way with, you're the one getting fast tracked up. So they basically have this club where the homosexual men just bring up the other homosexual men, and those are the guys getting into the position. So you basically, every single person in power is either a homosexual or willing to turn a blind eye to it. And that's where we're at right now. So yes, you do have a lot of conservative priests, and you are so that's what was kind of interesting about the Raymond Arroyo conversation with Frad, where Arroyo was like, back in the 80s, it was mayhem down at the parish level, but you had this, conservative as Pope. So you had, these good encyclicals coming out from the Pope, but then at the parish level, it was mayhem. Now there's kind of an inversion of that, where you could have a very solid parish now, and you could have some very good priests now, but all the men at the top are just wicked. They're just wicked. And anytime, and if they have a bishop who isn't wicked and he's good, he's going to get Strickland. Like, Strickland is now a verb. You're going to get Strickland. Stricklanded. Stricklanded. So it's not looking good, And I saw there was a video of what's the bishop in San Francisco, Cordileone, participated in a conference on marriage with an Orthodox priest. And there's a conversation between them. There's the guy that Lila Rose had on his channel. I'm just amazed Anthony knew what a verb was.
I love how you misspelled "knew" there, Brian.
Yeah, go ahead, make fun of me. Strickland or Pelled? Yeah,
Pelled is definitely
Strickland got off easy. He's lucky he didn't have any surgeries coming up.
Oh,
I mean, that's not even something to laugh about, but that's what happened to Pell. Like Pell wrote,
if they can murder JP1, they can murder Pell.
Pell wrote that Deimos memo, the Deimos memo he sent out. Then he had a lot of info about what was going on with the Vatican Bank. He was not someone they wanted to contend with at the next conclave. I'll tell you that.
Do you, I mean, I'm not even going to say like I believe this, but do you think maybe Burke's little plea was an attempt to make sure he doesn't get pelled?
No, I think Burke,
because he was Deimos too.
I know, but I think Burke genuinely is coming up on the end of his life and doesn't want to go down as causing schism in the church. Like,
especially if he helped engineer Leo's ascendancy.
I just don't think I think he doesn't. I think he wants to face his maker, saying, "I didn't cause any schism in your." Like, he takes schism very seriously.
Well, that's why he's harsh on the SSPX.
Yeah, takes schism very seriously. I don't think it's cowardice. I think it's confusing, is what I think. And he's a post-conciliar bishop. These guys came up after the council, and they love Vatican II, man. All of them.
Mm-hmm. Well,
all of them.
Not Schneider, but he's not.
Schneider's the only one, but Sarah does. Sarah's a hermeneutic of continuity Benedict guy.
Yeah.
Like this. Yeah, that too. Conservatives have this temperament. That's why they always lose.
Well, it's because for the most part, conservatives, even the modernist type in the hierarchy, are actually like decent men who try to be holy.
Yeah.
So they're limited by that. They have morals. The liberal leftists don't. You know, the ends justify the means to them. So they have an upper hand in almost every single scenario.
I do think. Look, so now that Strickland got Stricklanded, and Schneider, like, I think Schneider is like, I don't care. Let them excommunicate me at this point. Like,
yeah, to him, it's like, what are you going to do? Put me in a gulag?
I think he's just like at a point where he's like, I'm going to speak the truth. And Strickland, same thing. He's like, what can they do to me? What can they do to me? They took my diocese away at this point. And he's still a bishop.
Just a little too cozy with some weird parts of the church, you know, charismatics and such.
I think he's just tries to love those in his care, and I think a lot of those people love him, and I think that he just wants to love those in his care, and he wants to preach the truth, and it's just a really confusing time, man. And it's like, anytime anybody brings this stuff up and goes, look at who Leo's promoting, you're a schismatic, you're a sedevacantist. It's like, I don't know what to tell you guys, man. Like, I'm not blind. I see what's happening, and this is happening. And to pretend otherwise is almost like complicity in it at this point. I don't know. I don't know. It's scary stuff what we're talking about. We're talking about a complete and total takeover of the Catholic Church by wicked men. Like, that's what we're talking. I mean, it's been going on since the council. It has been going on. Like, the council was the original revolution, but we're at a point now where it's just been completely taken over, and it's going to seem like all hope is